Recording. Ah,
Yep.
How do we even start
Here we are,
this?
day 2.
Yes, day 2. Thoughts on the day? There you go.
Yeah, I think it was a good day. It was a busy day. It was a business day, I think you could call it. If I'm going to reflect back on our 2 sessions that we have, both 2 hours apiece, I felt like the discussion I had in our first session probably didn't go as well as I'd hoped it would. I think that the group was pretty tired coming into class and was a little less responsive than I would have liked to have seen. Having that meeting getting pulled out of at the end forced me to have to rush the lesson a little bit too, so that was a challenge. But second session I thought was great. It was night and day difference. A lot of engagement, good participation, as we did briefly talk before this video, from one particular student who is a robotics student who did a good job of helping to explain things in a simple way and not trying to sound too smart to the other students. So that was helpful to have both him and me kind of sharing ideas back and forth on basic circuitry like we did today. So all in all, yeah, I thought that, especially in second session, went well. I think that first session we'll find that they probably picked up more than they realized they did today, especially when the first attempt is made to draw a circuit diagram.
Right.
And I think that a few of the students are going to appreciate that particular discussion more when they start looking at the parts for the robot.
Well, and I was going to say that I did hear a couple of students today talk about switches and talk about batteries, and I hear it starting to make sense as far as, okay, now I have an idea of what kind of things I need to be looking for this robot. And you know, I can already see the connection, and that was only day 1 of starting some content things, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and I remember somebody in particular asked me about the single pole double throw switch and what it would do when that switches to the other side. And somebody brought up the fact, well, it might change the way the motor behaves, and I think that could be an important piece of information later on that they could use.
Right.
So that was good to see. I will say that one thing, and I need to ask you this too, is somebody asked about the LED. I don't know if we had in the entry document as that being a required thing, but I do think it is something we do want to put in there if it is.
Okay.
So maybe something that we have to add to the document.
Sure. I think, as we mentioned to them in day 1, these rules are ever changing and evolving, specifically because it's our first round with these robots as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we did make it very, very evident that we may be adding or changing some rules as we go if we see some things that need to be changed.
Yeah. So yeah, sum it up, busy day, a lot discussed, and a lot of good foundational things that I think are going to help when they actually begin the design phase of their robots.
So with what went on today as far as content, as far as progress towards the end goal, what is your vision for tomorrow?
Tomorrow it's going to be a little bit more of the same as far as my end's concerned with the physics. We have to extend our talk about circuits, and I want to connect the difference between the series and parallel circuits and try to find other applications beyond the robot for that as well. And then starting to really dive into the ideas behind Ohm's law with the relationship between current and voltage and resistance. We're not going to get too detailed yet on that, but I want to just refresh their memory of what we talked about today with that and really start realizing that they do affect each other. If there's a change in the voltage, it is going to change the current. And I think when we get towards resistors later on, then we'll actually get into the numbers for that.
Cool. We'll close on this question or comment or statement, and you can take it whatever way you wish. Tell us one thing that you were very, very happy with today. It doesn't have to be physics-based. It can be, but one thing in class that you were very, very happy with.
I thought that we had a lot of engagement, particularly from our second session. Maybe not so much with the first session, but our second session was really engaged, and I had a number of different students participating in the discussion. And that was very good to see that they were all trying to really grasp this idea that we were talking about.
Very good. Any final thoughts?
Bring on day 3.
Day 3.
Day 3.
Here we go. Thank you, sir.
Yep.